Welcome to TV station of 易经风水 Weixin TV. We are serving you the most professional and informative news of 易经风水. Every Monday at 11:30 p.m. current local time in Taiwan, Weixin English News will be broadcasted. Today is October 10th, 2016. This is Fiona Zhang Xinfang serving you the news of new religion of the world, Taiwan Weixin Shengjiao, of this week. Taiwan Weixin Shengjiao is a special religion which integrates 易经风水 and religious belief. Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi instructed the wisdom of 易经, which is boundless and timeless. Therefore, immense respect and tolerance are the characteristics of Weixin Shengjiao. In Taiwan, people enjoy the freedom of adhering to a huge variety of religions. The true gods and saints of Weixin Shengjiao, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, Christianity, and Islam all together are guiding us and protecting us. In Taiwan, religions have been demonstrating respect and bringing harmony among the citizens. Weixin Shengjiao has prospered in this very pure land for 34 years. Towards this newly developed new religion, all your curiosity and questions will be answered in our Weixin Shengjiao feature story. Let's watch. Since 2012, every year on the 1st of January, Weixin Shengjiao invites 1,234 Chinese emperors to the ceremony of united worship ancestors. Today, we are featuring a story about the database of Chinese emperors. In 2003, Wang Chan Laozu instructed the Chinese emperors database to include all rulers of China with the titles of Gong, King, Son of Heaven, Monarchist, or Huangdi. Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi told Master Yuan Feng we should widen the definition of emperors or rulers because there were different religions developed along the Chinese history. During those times, there was not a single dynasty ruling a unified China. Thus, all rulers deserve our worship for their contribution of their tribes, groups, independent states, or territories. According to this kind of logic, Weixin Shengjiao got 862 Chinese emperors, which included independent states during the spring and autumn period and warring states period. On the 1st of January 2004, Weixin Shengjiao invited 862 Chinese emperors to the ceremony of united worship ancestors. Mr. Xia Zizheng, the director of History Institute of Social Science in China Hebei Province, attended the 2004 ceremony. After reviewing the database, he suggested that it would be good to add 7 kings of Zhongshan State during the warring states period. At the same time, Weixin Shengjiao found another 48 emperor titles which were confirmed by experts. The numbers of Chinese emperors increased to 917. On the 1st of January 2005, Weixin Shengjiao held the second ceremony of united worship ancestors and invited 917 Chinese emperors for worship. After that, Wang Chan Laozu instructed we have to add the list of emperors of Japan and Korea. Why Japanese and Korean emperors are invited to the ceremony of united worship ancestors? Are they our ancestors too? Did we have any blood relation? Based on historical records, Xu Fu was born in 255 BC and served as a cultivator in the Qin dynasty. Qin Shi Huang is the ruler of Qin, who feared death and pursued for an eternity life. He appointed Xu Fu to find the secret of immortality. Xu Fu was sent with 500 virgin boys and girls, ships, and armies to the eastern seas. Finally, Shifu landed in Japan and never returned. Shifu became the Emperor Jinbu, the first emperor of Japan. Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi said Shifu was the student of Wang Chan Laozu, so he followed the instruction of Wang Chan Laozu to spread Chinese culture in Japan. The Japanese emperors were hereditary, so the family of the kings have ruled for generations since Emperor Jinmu. To this day, there are 124 Japanese emperors in total. The situation in Korea was more complex. There were the descendants of Chiyou and the progeny of Jizi, who was the last emperor of the Chinese Shang dynasty. The aboriginal inhabitants also had a chance to be part of the Korean kingdom after the fall of Bohai Guo. In 2011, Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi asked Master Yuan Feng to create a Korean database of those who had a Chinese bloodline. Totally, we have 193 emperor titles confirmed by Wang Chan Laozu. On the 1st of January 2012, Weixin Shengjiao invited 1,234 Chinese emperors to the ceremony of United Worship Ancestors, which included 917 Chinese emperors, 124 Japanese emperors, and 193 from Korea. Whether it comes to a routine ritual or an annual specific ritual, we endeavor to pursue a concrete practice in a peaceful way. There are 3 goals we aim to achieve. Firstly, to eliminate catastrophes. Secondly, to solve grievance. And thirdly, to bring harmony between the underworld and the living world. In today's news, we are sharing with you the most important and unique ritual. The main theme is about the relief and elimination of disasters, famine, and wars in 2016. The ritual is named the Grand Worship of Tianshan Shenshui River Nourishment Rite. Please take a look at the following news about the Chanjishan Xianfo Temple, Ashes Treasures Ritual, Holy Water Nourishment Ritual in Chongyang Festival 2016.
On October 4th, the Weixin Shengjiao was held an Ashes Treasures Ritual, Holy Water Nourishment Ritual in Chongyang Festival 2016 at Heavenly Altar of Chanji Mountain Xianfo Temple, which have committed to end hunger and war for all people around the world. The ritual executed by Master Yuan Shong Chanshi, chanting sutras by 7 chanters for 3 days, which blessing and offering to the Dharma realm. Ashes Treasures Fruit Offering Ritual are made up for 34th anniversary ritual statements of opening Southern Heaven Gate, doctoral and master's dissertations of masters and lectures, new Nine Dragon Scepter statements, consecrated by Master Yuan Shong Chanshi. Ashes Treasures Ritual Holy Water Nourishment Ritual was held at Heavenly Altar of Chanji Mountain Xianfo Temple in Double Night Chongyang Festival. On the noon of September 9th, the ritual followed by Yuan Tong Chanshi, Master Yuan Shong Chanshi, Master Yuan Yi, Master Yuan Tang, Master Yuan Zhi, Master Yuan Ji, Master Yuan Jian, Master Yuan Chun, Master Yuan Xing, Master Yuan Tong, Master Yuan Feng, Master Yuan Dao, Master Yuan De, with virtual fellows climbed to the top of 13 mountains, which included Guanyin Mountain, Yangmingshan, the apex of the Taipei-Yilan Highway, Taidong Danan Southern Heaven Gate, Manaban Mountain, Lishan Queen Mother of the West Temple, Jiji Mountain, Akasha Hill, Yushan Tataka, the Southern Cross Highway Yakou, University of Yijing the Center Wu and Ji, and Hebei Zhuolu Fanshan. Ashes treasures spray and serve to the ground to end hunger and work together make an effort in Taiwan. Weixin News at Chanji Mountain Xianfo Temple.
Take a break, we will come back soon. another official news, Weixin Shengjiao Xinfa Lecture Hall held an anniversary prayer ceremony on September 29th. Let's take a look.
Weixin Shengjiao Pingdong Xinfa Lecture Hall. On September 29th, Lecturer Yuan Ban in charge of the lecture hall held an anniversary celebration ritual. Lecturer Yuan Ban led the virtual fellows chant the sutras. They thanked the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and deities for protecting the Dharma wheel to turn constantly and the society in peace. They also prayed for Wangchan Laozu, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas to descend to bless the virtual fellows to enhance wisdom and merits, and the society to be safe. Xinfa Lecture Hall was established in September 28, 2015. There is a river in front of the lecture hall. The river was flowed from Dawu Mountain, and the water is very clear that you can see through the bottom. You have to get through a bridge in order to get into the lecture hall. There is a statue of land deity and a statue of Confucius at the side of the bridge that watch over and to protect the residents. Grand Master Yuan Chanshi instructed, if there is an auspicious feng shui land, the culture of prosperity, the sun and the moon forever lasting, there is a tall pagoda in front of the lecture hall. We can apply the feng shui guidelines to make changes and let it to be like a pen to benefit the virtual fellows in future studies. Grand Master Yuan Chanshi appointed Lecturer Yuan Ban to in charge of Xinfa Lecture Hall and to turn the Dharma wheel. She propagates Yi Jing feng shui in Donggang, Chaozhou, Xinpi, Linbian, Fangliao, and Hengchun towns in Pingdong City. She receives great support from the virtual fellows. Xinfa Lecture Hall now is offering the 22nd and 23rd intermediate courses, and the first fundamental course started in September. Lecturer Yuan Ban invites the local people to come to learn Yi Jing Feng Shui together and to create happiness and peace in life. The anniversary celebration ritual was completed successfully. Weixin News, Xinfa Lecture Hall.
To learn Buddhist chant, we emphasize on our body, mentality, verbalism, and last but not least, our mindset. We practice and learn Buddhist chant for the sake of bringing good fortune to the mass. We also commit to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In the meantime, we dedicated all our merits gained in the above process to all population on earth. The chant contributes to the purification of our karma. The chants also offer peace and harmony to our ancestors. Now we will take a look at the Buddhist chant courses at Weixin Shengjiao Luzhou Branch Temple in New Taipei City.
Practice makes perfect. Virtuous Fellows of Buddhist Chant class organized a group practice on the weekend, October 1st. Virtuous Fellow Ma arranged the practice rundown for all the participants. Even though it was just a practice, everyone dedicated themselves with diligence before the altar. Those who stood at the back were listening carefully to their fellow friends and took notes of their own mistakes. The practice centered on chanting the Repentance Sutra of Baizaja Guru. Those without the instruments listened to the sound of other people, postured as if they had their instruments, and clapped along the tempo. The practice was perfected at noon.
我是去年才学换背啊，因为我来泸州，到场看大家师姐都好开心、好欢喜，所以我也进入的换背班，所以学习换背得到的心得是说，它能让我心定，而且还有勇气，然后做事情比较有信心。
现在我因为在第一次学这个，在这个换背的时候，感觉心情很轻松，很快乐。谢谢我们中门的有这个机会给我们在学习这个换背的，感觉非常的好。谢谢，很自胜。
It takes continuous practice to master Buddhist chant. Participants should dress in high-chin garment, stand before the altar, which help them to tranquilize their nervousness. One will reduce the possibility of making mistakes during a formal ritual if he or she practices every day. Weixin News at Luzhou Branch Temple.
Still at Luzhou Branch Temple, a maturation blessing for babies was held. Let's take a look at this fun and cozy moment.
Luzhou Branch Temple held the maturation blessing for Weixin baby. Luzhou Branch Temple was full of joy on 1st October. It held maturation blessing for aspirant Li's grandson turning 4 months. By the time being, the baby will grow up safely and well. This is an old Taiwanese tradition, with blessing from relatives. They hope the baby can be no more drooling and keep on growing. In traditional way, cooked pork, fish, chicken, turtle-shaped dumpling with wrapping smashed, sweetened red rice dumpling, and peach-shaped bun with wrapping smashed should be prepared to worship ancestors. Then the slobber cookies will be made into necklace and put it around the baby's neck. The elder with longevity and happiness use slobber cookies and wipe them on the baby's lips by giving well wishes to the baby at the same time. Aspirant Lis and his whole families brought fruits and slobber cookies to worship Wangchan Laozu in Luzhou Branch Temple. Every attendee got together with joy and happiness, making necklace from cookies. The baby was holding in grandparents' arms and prayed in front of Wangchan Laozu for growing up safely and blessing. The ceremony ended up with propitious bliss from each attendee fruitfully.
拜拜，大家来学易经。
Weixin News 泸州。
Take a break. We will come back soon. On news of this week's 易经风水 education, Weixin Shengjiao College hosts talks and lectures in a regular basis. On October 2nd, Professor Park Yong-ho of Kyungpook National University of Korea and Madam Lee Min-ae from Oriental Classes Research of Korea delivered 2 keynote speeches respectively. We will later on continue our bilateral cultural exchange. Professor Park will translate the Dharma Treasure, which is a book about the lectures of Yang House Feng Shui. This helps propagating Yijing Feng Shui, which is part of the Chinese cultural wisdom.
Weixin Shengjiao College held the lecture and invited Professor Park Yong-ho from Kyungpook National University of Korea and President Lee Min-ae of Korea Oriental Classical Studies Association to make a speech. Professor Park introduced the Huarun of Korea national culture and President Lee shared the current situation about Korean education of Chinese language, introduced the traditional culture of Korea, and how it popularized in Chinese language education system in Korea. The clear and structured explanation made the participant virtuous fellows know more about Korea culture in all ages. Professor Park pointed how important Huarun is in the ethnic and education history of Korea. It represents Korean traditional thought of far-reaching consciousness. Huarun inspiration is based on Korean inherent thoughts and then combine Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, and become virtuous thoughts of humble, frugality, and tolerant. There are 2 characteristics of Huarun education. One is to experience education together, and to attach importance to community and the country's great undertaking. The other is to teach in line with the student's ability, attaching importance to the field experience and the process of actual life experience, and to implement the education about the center of art. Professor Park was popularizing the book Yang House Feng Shui in the whole Korea, and he is working hard to the world peace as well. President Lee introduced Sino-Korean and current situation of Chinese language education. Korea added Chinese language and Sino-Korean into secondary elective subject in 1972 and senior high required course in 1992. Korean colleges teach 2 kinds of education subjects. One uses Sino-Korean and the other uses Chinese language. The main reason to teach these 2 subjects is to enhance Korean college students' comprehension of Sino-Korean and ability of writing and reading Chinese language, and contact with international standards. At the end of speech, President Chen of Weixin Shengjiao College presented books about the contribution of Yijing College to world peace to Professor Park and President Lee, and appreciated them for exchanging lecture in Taiwan. Weixin News at Weixin Shengjiao College.
Do you know how to select a safe and sound house? You are mostly welcome to contact all the branch temples in Taiwan for further information on community Yijing Feng Shui lectures. We offer the magnificent way of 易经风水 for those who are looking for a happy life. Now, let's take a look at the community 易经风水 lecture of 土城安心 Branch Temple.
To propagate 易经风水 Dharma linkage and benefit to sentient beings in society, the abbot of Weixin Shengjiao 土城安心 Branch Temple, Master Yuan Cong, invited Master Yuan Ying to hold household feng shui lecture. This talk will teach feng shui checklists before having a house. It will give you peace of mind as well as assure that your house is a good financial investment. On 2nd October, Master Yuan Ying teaches 易经风水in packed 土城安心 Branch Temple. There are no empty seats. This talk started from easy feng shui checklist for house location, front door, and living room. She reminded all attendants should be sure your house receives good energy from its surroundings, and share a memorable jingle, "Front door is expensive than your house." This jingle explained the front door is very important in feng shui as it is how the house receives its energy nourishment. Master Yuan Ying shared that good feng shui will have a strong influence on our body, as well as a good effect on the quality of our life and relationships. Master Yuan Ying teaches 易经风水 in humorous with simple words. All people were having a good time, and they were reluctant to leave. We could feel that 易经风水 propagation at 土城安心 Branch Temple was a success because people were surrounded Master Yuan Ying for more questions after finished 3 hours teaching. Weixin News, Taipei.
Thank you for joining us today on Weixin English News. Every Monday at 11:30 p.m. and every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. of Taiwan local time, we will be serving you the most detailed news of 唯心圣教. 王禅老祖 bless you and your family. See you next time.